to another video. Today's video is going to be discussing my summer TBR. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I just had to get back to my place to get some more books and show you guys what I want to read this summer. So yeah, I'm sorry for probably seeming so tired. I just finished completing two homework assignments in a row that I procrastinated. So I'm very tired now, but I still was so excited to film this video. So I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I gotta film it. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm really excited for this video. I always start off with what I'm currently reading, so I'm going to tell you guys all of those. Right now, I am reading A Court of Mist and Fury. It's funny because I'm not much of a fantasy reader, or romance, honestly. But I've been hearing a lot about them on TikTok, and just seeing them everywhere, and a lot of my friends read fantasy and love it, so I wanted to give it a shot, and because of how popular this one was, I thought it was a good place to start. I read the first one, I had to go ahead and read the second one as well. I read the first one. Honestly, the first half was kind of insufferable to me, but then the second part was like really awesome and like did make up for it, I must say. I don't know if I had a hard time reading it, but yeah, you've all heard of this, so I'm not going to bother explaining it. But I'm currently reading this, and I'm enjoying it so far. That's me jumping into the world of fantasy, or trying to get into it. Next, but this does include manga. I'm also reading Berserk. My boyfriend is letting me borrow this right now, and I wanted to read it for a while. He told me about it, and I was immediately pretty intrigued. I'm only on page 100 so far. It's pretty thick and pretty big, and honestly the first 100 pages were very engaging, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Like, the main character is super badass, and yeah, I'm finding it really entertaining, so I'm excited to book that. So I'm excited to continue with this. I'm also reading this book called The Map of Consciousness Explained. Basically, the book is all about this proven energy scale to actualize your full potential. It's very fascinating, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm listening to the audiobook, so I don't have the physical thing on me, but you know, I'm trying to get more in tune with my spirituality, and I'm just exploring that. So this book is helping me to start that, and just by being more in tune with myself and like what I need to work on and think about. So I really recommend it so far. It's really good. So it's kind of funny that we're starting this video off with so many fantasy when I say I don't read fantasy, but this book I have heard tons and tons of things about, so, and amazing things. And I also find the concept of I find heists just really entertaining to read and watch. So yeah, I'm really excited. If any of you guys have seen the show Money Heist, you'll understand probably where I'm coming from. It's really freaking good. So I like the concept of this a whole lot. Basically, I'm going to tell you about this in case you haven't heard of it, even though you probably have. Basically, it's this heist. Six outcasts are trying to pull off this heist. It starts with this character named Kaz, who's offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. So he hires these other 5 to help him pull it off. But they also all have powers from what I understand. So it's a very interesting concept. Also, this cover art is beautiful. I got this off of Marketplace. I get a lot of my books secondhand. Recently I haven't been doing as well as that, but I've been trying to support local bookshops downtown. But yeah, super excited to read this. Actually, I think it'll be really cool. I have really high expectations. So then we have another manga. I was actually at the bookstore, I was at Chapters one day, and I was looking for Goodnight Poon Poon. I don't know if it's Poon Poon or Pun Pun. And this guy saw me looking at that, and he's like, oh, that's really good. And we started talking about our taste in manga and like things we were into and what we read and whatnot. And throughout our conversation, he suggested this, Blood on the Tracks. And I was immediately very intrigued by the concept, and I still remember what he told me because I thought it stuck with me for months after hearing it. And I finally just got it, like two days ago, yesterday actually, and I'm so unbelievably excited to read it. Honestly, I'm rushing through Berserk so I can start this. But basically, it's about this boy, and he's living a very normal life, and all of a sudden, one summer, everything changes when he sees his mother. He witnesses an event, a traumatizing event at the hands of his mother, but it happens when he's really young, so he spends the rest of his youth trying to understand if what he saw was real and whether or not it actually happened, or if it was a figment of his imagination. So that was a very fascinating concept to me, and I immediately wanted to know more. I was super intrigued, just the idea of having witnessed something traumatizing at the hands of someone that you love so much and who was so close to you and also supposed to be your protector, and then not knowing if you can trust them, not knowing if you can trust yourself. Very interesting concept. So I'm really, really excited to read this. Yeah, I really can't wait. I've been really enjoying. It's so funny. I never thought I'd be someone who would enjoy manga ever. But here we are. I'm obsessed with Junji Ito. I'm also reading Nana. I just finished volume 4. I gotta get to volume 5, so I want to read more Nana this summer. And now this one, and I really can't wait. I had to go grab another stack. We have the book Cultish. I got this one a while ago. Super cool cover art. I mean, to preface, I'm a psychology major, so I've always been super fascinated with the idea of cults and the psychology behind them, how people are susceptible to cults, because believe it or not, we are all susceptible to cults, at least in some point in our lifetime. Cults play off our vulnerabilities and our weak points, and whatever your vulnerability or weak point is, depending on whether it's where you're at in your life or something that's missing from your life, we're all susceptible to something like this and to getting brainwashed or manipulated as much as we would like to think it. We look at people who join these things and we say, oh, that you were so stupid, that was so stupid, but we're all susceptible to it. So yeah, I really can't wait to read this. I don't usually read nonfiction, but this is something that I would definitely be interested in. So I'm really excited to learn more about this. Alrighty. The next book is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is just clearly so summery. So I'm really excited to read it. I read Beach Read this year, actually. That was my first Emily Henry book, because I hear so many people rave about her, and my best friend's obsessed with her, so I had to see what was going on. And I really liked it, so I've had this for a while. This was actually the first one I bought by Emily Henry. I liked the premise. So yeah. And a movie's coming out on this as well, so I really actually want to read it so I can go watch the movie with my friend. But basically, if you don't know, this book is about two best friends who have gone on a trip every single summer together, until this big fight broke out between them, or argument or disagreement. It doesn't specify, and they stopped becoming friends, and They're distant, they're both kind of stuck in a rut, and one of the friends decides, hey, you know, this is enough, and they get their friend to agree to go on one last vacation with them in hopes to work everything out. So yeah, I'm really excited, because just knowing how Beach Read was and how much I liked it, I think this is going to be really good, so I'm really excited. And the cover is so cute and so summery. How could I not read it over summer? Alrighty, so the next book is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I wanted to read this for a while, and for some reason, this has also always seemed like a summery book to me. I don't know why. I asked my friend Ren, she said not at all, but I always told myself for whatever reason I'm going to read this over the summer. I don't know why. I don't even know if I have to read the premise because it sounds just like it is. Like it sounds pretty, well, kind of self-explanatory, maybe not. It's set in the 90s, which I really, really love. And basically it's with this mom, you know, her children have kind of grown up and don't need her anymore. Her husband's a workaholic. The only thing, she's bored with her life, but the only thing that she looks forward to every week and keeps her going really is this book club that she has with these women. And all of a sudden this man, I'm pretty sure from what I understand, walks into the book club, and he's very enthralling, handsome, you know, intriguing, but all of a sudden children start to go missing in the town, and she wonders if he's like, it says in the book, Brad Pitt or Ted Bundy, which one are we talking? So it sounds cute. I love the cover art, and I love anything to do with vampires. I grew up obsessed with Twilight, and that's all I really gotta say. That sparked it all for me. So anything with vampires, I'm intrigued, and I will pick it up. So I'm excited. Alright, this next book is kind of hard to explain, but it is The Doors of Perception. Also, really cool cover art. So I'm gonna have to just read this back, the short back to you, because I can't really explain it myself. But I'll start up here. Half an hour after swallowing the drug, I became aware of a slow dance of golden lights. Among the most profound explorations of the effects of mind-expanding drugs ever written, here are two complete classic books, The Doors of Perception and Heaven and Hell, in which Aldous Huxley, I think that's how you say his name, author of the best-selling Brave New World, reveals the mind's remote frontiers and the unmapped areas of human consciousness. And this edition also features an additional essay, Drugs That Shape Men's Minds. It's funny, I realized I actually have like 2 books about consciousness now that I'm reading and have on my to be read. But I thought it sounded absolutely fascinating. And from what I understand, he takes these different drugs and then proceeds to discuss his experiences with them. That's part of the book. So, you know, it's cool to read about someone else who will do these things, so you don't have to. I think it's a really cool concept. And this shit was happening, like, back in the day. Yeah, it's saying that he lived 1894 to 1963. So this was, like, what I'm gonna assume that this was some pretty groundbreaking stuff at that time. So I'm excited to read this. Another book that I got at the same time as that was The Myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus? Yeah. By Albert Camus. I was at a girl's house. It was like 4 a.m. Like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. And we had just spent a night out, like me and my friends out at downtown and whatnot. And then we ended up at this random girl's house one night. One morning, I guess. And I was looking at her bookshelf in her apartment, and this was one of the books that was on her shelf. And I'm a huge fan of philosophy. I'm very fascinated by it. I'm trying to do as much research as I can on the subject, and ball balancing, everything else, of course. And she had this book, and I immediately knew it was philosophy because it was by Albert Camus, which is my boyfriend's favorite philosopher. So in this book, Albert Camus discusses the concept of the absurd and the conflict between human desire for meaning in different universe. And the book is largely about him using this metaphor of a man pushing a boulder up a hill, only to have it roll back down, and uses this concept as a way to discuss the absurdity of just living in this world with no set or determined purpose or meaning. So I don't know if I explained that well, but it sounds absolutely amazing. I'm wondering how drunk the girl was who suggested that I read this, because she told me it was an argument or more so a discussion about the existence of God, and why it was or wasn't true. She might have been pretty hammered, because it seems to be more existentialism, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm very excited that I picked it up anyway, because it's something that I'm interested in regardless. So, alrighty, and it wouldn't be a book video unless I had some sort of Junji Ito in there. So here we have Junji Ito's Uncanny. This is I think his most recent release. I know it's either this or Alley. And I think he may have just come out with one, or is coming out with one about to. I don't remember. Anyways, it's one of the more recent releases, and yeah, this book is all about his life, his art, his getting into his mind. It's done in a very different way than many of his other books, so I'm really intrigued and excited to see what it's all about. As soon as you open the cover here, it says, "Why are we drawn to fear?" So I think he's also going to discuss kind of the psychology behind his work and why he thinks it works for people, why it does the trick. So I really can't wait for this. Oh, and look how cool that is. Never noticed that. That's super neat. Oh, super neat stuff. I love this guy. He's amazing. He has a brilliant mind, a beautiful mind, disturbingly beautiful mind. He's incredible, and I just think his work and his brain is absolutely fascinating. So excited to finally be able to delve more into him, because I did a lot of research on where he grew up and what his upbringing was like. I've done as much research as I can, and how his work got famous, but I don't know. This is from himself, all of it, so it's totally different. I can't wait. Then, as you guys may or may not know, I love Call Me By Your Name. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It means the world to me. Elio is me, and I am Elio. I feel. But, yeah, so I was really excited when I saw this in the sales section. Had chapters. I can't wait to read it. That's all I have to say. If you don't know what Call Me By Your Name is, go watch my movie rambles video. And you'll find out soon enough. Or just go watch it. Just go watch it, or read it even better. Because the book is the most beautiful, poetic shit I've ever read, and it changed my life, and completely reshaped what I thought was beautiful in literature. It just set the bar so high. It was just breathtaking. The most breathtaking thing I've ever read easily. So even though this book is supposed to largely follow the dad's perspective, I believe, I'm still really excited, just because I think Andrew Assenman's writing is so absolutely gorgeous. So I'm so excited. And then the final philosophy thing I'll bother you with. I've never read Meditations. Yes, I know I say I love philosophy. I've never read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, so I gotta get this one down off the list. It seems absolutely fascinating, and I think my brain's gonna explode, and I can't wait. It's basically just a bunch of this philosopher's thoughts, life advice, revelations, and he just writes it all down. He keeps track of it, and then it was translated, so it's one of the greatest works ever written in philosophy and ever in general. So I'm excited for this insightful shit to expand my brain. So another one I really want to get down this summer is It by Stephen King. This is unfortunately a beast. I am, I'm not usually too intimidated by big books, but this one, I am, with good reason, I think, considering it's 1,100 pages, and the craziest part is, you open the book, and it's like the words are still fucking tiny. Like they're still so tiny, and I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah, a little fucking horrifying. They're so little, I can't believe it actually, for how big this goddamn book is. Stephen King is crazy, a crazy genius. But yeah, it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I also just made a video discussing all my favorite movies, so feel free to go watch. But I love it so much. So I gotta read the book, and Stephen King is one of my favorite writers. Like many people, he's brilliant. So I really want to read this and get this out of the way. Also, awesome cover. Awesome cover. I don't even care how long it is. I just gotta get through this. I'm so fucking excited. Pennywise plays off of all these kids' fears, so I find it's different. And like in horror, I've learned that in order to feel fear, it's very important that you also feel love and compassion, and you have to care in order to feel fear, right? It's like if you don't care about a character, you don't really give a shit what's gonna happen to them, you know? And it's harder to feel fear, but I think it's easier to invoke those kinds of feelings when it's a character that you care about and you don't want them to die, you want them to get hurt. So I find, since Pennywise plays off of all these characters' fears, all these kids' fears, you have to know their background and their history and what they're going through or what they have gone through to understand why they're afraid of the things they're afraid of. So you come to really care about them during that process, and that's one of the reasons why I find it like really just tugs on my heartstrings and gets my emotions going. So even though I don't necessarily find it scary, because I don't find really a lot of things scary, it definitely is a horror movie that I care about and feel heavily during, and I really cannot wait to read this. Alrighty guys, I only have 4 more here and I'll ram through them. I love Lou Reed, I love The Velvet Underground. I wanted to include at least one music biography in here because I have a couple I want to read this summer, but this is one that I'm really excited for. I find him absolutely fascinating. I love Transformer. There's also pictures in here partially, so I'm really excited for this. I hope it's well done. We have a thriller that my friend got me for my birthday. Thank you, Lana. Famous Last Words. It's about this woman. She gets a call that her husband is in a hostage situation. Obviously, you're going to assume that your husband is the one who has been taken hostage, but no, he is the one who was taken hostage of someone else. So this really turns the tables, and it's about this wife trying to figure out what to do, how to make sense of the situation, and obviously just what the fuck happens from there. You want to know. It's gonna be a super interesting thriller. Then we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I added this to my to-be read list, and then my boyfriend got it for me for Valentine's Day. Thank you, Noah. I'm so excited. So basically, to sum it up, it's kind of hard to summarize, but I'll read this part right here. They call them wayward girls, loose girls, girls who grew up too fast, and they're sent to the Wellwood house in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to have their babies in secret, to give them up for adoption, and most important of all, to forget it ever happened. And apparently some of these girls, or all of them, have powers. They do witchcraft or something, and power can destroy as easily as it creates, and it's never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. I think they learn witchcraft at this facility they're at. So it's very ominous and open-ended. Seems like a lot's going on, lots of characterization. I think it sounds really cool and unique, so yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Super cool cover art as well. And then the last book that I'll show you guys, because this video is 33 minutes right now, is The Secret History of Donna Tartt. This book I wanted to read for a very long time. I have indulged in dark academia / thriller, The Maidens. So besides, I've never delved into anything dark academia before. I really want to. I've heard very fascinating stuff about this. Under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search for the translucent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. It's actually supposed to be a thriller as well, so very excited for this. Cannot wait. Sounds so intriguing. I've heard one chapter though was like literally 100-something pages. I'm not chill with that. Apparently it's just a conversation. So it's done in a very untraditional way, and I'm really intrigued to see how I will react to that. So yeah, so those are all the books that I'm prioritizing this summer. I also really want to read The Power of Now and Red Rising. One partially for my spirituality journey, which is The Power of Now, and then the other, Red Rising, because it's my best friend's and my boyfriend's favorite book, so I gotta get on it. But yeah, you guys, those are all the books I'm gonna discuss today. I didn't expect this, honestly, to be so long. So yeah, I'll try and edit it down as much as possible. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you